Charlie here. Wanted to walk you through some new features that we have coming to Hauler. The first is called recurring hauls, and this provides you a way to have a haul that maybe is a swap or a round trip that you are commonly doing for one of your customers be set on a schedule that you define and will be created for you in advance to really cut down on data entry and make sure that you have everything scheduled into the unassigned bucket ready for you to dispatch a day ahead of time. And the second is customer specific pricing, which we're excited to bring, and that allows you to set pricing for a customer that then you can copy through to locations or hauls, and that's separate from the existing base and VIP pricing that we have today, and lets you have a customer specific set of rates that are going to be locked in for that customer and different from all other customers that you have. So let's first go over customer specific pricing, and then we'll get into the recurring hauls. So I have a customer pulled up here, a little test account. From the customer card, you can press the edit button, go into the pricing tier, and there's a new option for customer specific pricing. If I select that, I'll now have options to pull up to set those customer specific prices. In this case, I have 2 dumpster sizes. I can copy in the base rates to at least pre-fill some of the data, and then I can edit these as I would like and hit save. I now have a pricing section of the page down here at the bottom, so I can view that customer's pricing, and I also have a indication up here that the pricing tier has been set to customer specific, and that'll show through different places in the system. So now that we understand customer specific pricing, let's look at how we could implement that on a location. If I come into this location and hit edit, I have all the existing location variables, but I can also see that I have a new option here aside from the base pricing or VIP that I could maybe set, or if this account had location-based pricing, that would also be an option here. I can now select this customer-specific pricing and copy that data in and click Save. That'll then default future hauls to that location's pricing, which is inheriting that amount from the customer-specific pricing. If we want to jump over to now talk about recurring hauls. So what are those and how are those useful? Let's go to a existing haul in the system. I'm going to pull up a sample here of a fake building here in Pittsburgh that was already completed, and this is a delivery that was done. There's then also a swap after. So what I want to do is make the ongoing swaps a recurring opportunity. So to do that, there's a new column here called recurring. This is also able to be defined by your column settings over here if you want to hide or move that around. And I can click the plus button here to create a recurring haul from the existing haul, and I have a new prompt page. Let's talk about what's here. This is pulling in data from the location. It's pulling in the placement and the customer. And now a type, I can select swap or round trip. I can select the dumpster size. And then now I'm into scheduling, a lot like you'd see in a recurring meeting invite from maybe Gmail or Outlook or whichever you use. I can select a date where this would start. And then I can select an interval by which this will repeat. We support weekly or monthly. Let's go through weekly for now. And let's say I want to have this be an every Friday pickup. I select weekly, once a week, and Friday. And I can also select when this would end. It can either end on a specific date, so maybe you want to do this through the end of the summer. I could have it select to end after a number of occurrences, so maybe I want to do 6 hauls or something like that, so 6 weeks in this case. Or I could have it be indefinite, and this could continue on until you cancel it later. I also have the ability to see a sample of what this job is going to do as I define things over here. And this will update on the right. So it's going to pick different days. As I edit things on the form, this will give me a projection of what is actually going to be occurring from the scheduling. It also creates these hauls 1 day in advance so that you're able to do the dispatching. So in this case, it's going to make all of these hauls very early on the preceding Thursday because these are for a Friday. So if I click save on this, this is now going to create a recurring haul record. This is a new table on a new page called recurring, and I can see there's a bunch of different options in here for recurring hauls that we've been making as we test this out. A recurring haul has obviously the next date that the job is going to be created and put into the unassigned bucket, and we also tell you the day by which it will create that. So again, 1 day prior. You can also make these active or inactive. So in this case, we've turned one off. You see a little red X there. And these 3 green ones are on. You can search and filter this page as you grow the number of recurring halls that you have. You could search for only active or inactive, and a couple other filters there. And so what does this do in practicality now that we have this idea of a recurring hall set up? What's this going to do for your dispatchers? Well, when they come in, they're going to see a new hall created in here for the, I'm clicked to Saturday. I'm recording this on a Friday. And so I made one where it's going to show some information for a Saturday. It ran this earlier in the day, and so now I have this stubbed out here, and I can move that around and assign it to drivers or whatever I need to do. And so again, last point here being that this is showing that this was created from a recurring hall, so that'll start to show on all the cards so you can determine the origination point for that. And if you do need to make an adjustment to that, you can click into this. This will show you halls made from this recurring hall, and you can edit these if you need to. Come back to this form. So yeah, excited for you to see these two new features of customer-specific pricing, which let you set a specific rate for a customer and use that on future locations and halls, and also recurring halls, which allow you to build an ongoing template of weekly or monthly and complex schedules associated with those two time intervals, and have those be created in advance for your team members to really reduce data entry and make sure that you're not, again, missing anything. If you have feedback on these, would encourage you to use the little widget that we've added into the bottom of the application here, and you can click a feature and feedback form, and this gets sent right to our development team. So this is awesome for us to be able to gather feedback, understand what's working and what's not without you having to fire up an email and take too much time out of your day. So if you have input on these or other features that you'd like to see, please feel free to use that, and we'll continue to add different features over the next coming weeks and months that we're excited to tell you about at that juncture. So appreciate your time today and hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks.